I've never read any Noam Chomsky, but my impression of him for a while has been, generally speaking, that he is somebody who is a leftist that one can respect if one is on the right, who opposes interventionism and opposes the military-industrial complex and other novelties of the surveillance state. So although I haven't read a word of Chomsky's work, I always sort of thought, well, we're kind of on the same side on the bigger questions. Kind of like somebody like Assange, who I think also, or was orientation-wise was always on the left, but then grew to be somebody who the neoliberal pseudo-left or quasi-left or whatever you want to call them, they grew to vilify him, and things went where they went from there. So I just sort of thought that Chomsky was sort of another sort of kind of ally, and that's why it was very disheartening, and even felt like a little bit of a betrayal to read his comments about, which I will link to here below, wherein he says that those who do not have the Baj, who choose not to get the Baj, that's how I'll phrase it here for YouTube, being circumlocutious with my language. Just think of Baj spelled backwards. That those of us who are non-Bajed should remove ourselves from society. Those were his words. That we no longer had any claim to being in society if we did not get this procedure done, if we did not get our arms punctured in this way and the junk injected into us, we should not be in society anymore. We should be somewhere else. And he adds in this talk that he gave that there's a question of how do they get food? Well, that's not really our problem, he says in this he's quoted as saying in this article, which I will link below. So much cognitive dissonance that's being promoted out there. And I'm just gonna. I'm not an incredibly intelligent person who knows everything about everything by any means. There are a lot of things I'm quite ignorant of, but I do know this. I do know that from what we've been told about this Baj, that it's different from prior similar Bajes in that this time around, when you get it, if it works the way they say it works, which is a big if, of course, but if it does work the way they say it works, then it doesn't mean you don't get the virus. What it means is if you get the virus, you only get you only get a mild form of it. So it keeps you from getting sick. Again, if it works the way that they say it works. If we take them at their word, which is a big, big, big if, then that's the way that it operates. But it does not prevent you from getting it. It does not prevent you from spreading it. Okay? With all of that in mind, how can Noam Chomsky, who I know is an intelligent man, who I know has greater intelligence than I do, someone even call him brilliant, how can he say that the non-Bajed should remove themselves from society for the good of society, when getting the Baj does not in any way protect anyone but yourself. If it works the way they say it does. Given that that is the case, how can he make this claim? And, is he knowingly promoting cognitive dissonance? Is he, he's an old man? Is he senile? I don't know. I don't want to just jump to that conclusion. He is 92. But it can't be that he doesn't understand that this is the way the Baj is supposed to work. It can't be. It's simply, I find it very hard to believe that that is the case. Therefore, he must be promoting cognitive dissonance, which means that he's not to be trusted. Obviously, if you know that something is a particular way, and you engage in rhetoric that makes it seem as if it's otherwise, then you are being dishonest, right? Now, I could see, if it was like the days of the measles or something, and if the measles jab actually worked, if it did work, I'm guessing, I'm just going to grant that it did work in preventing people from getting it. Let's just stipulate that, okay? I don't know whether it does or doesn't. I'm not going to wade into that territory here because it's way out of my depth. I'm a freaking English major. But if that were the case, if this particular treatment worked in the way that most CNVACs, I'm so paranoid about saying the word, if most of those kinds of treatments did, where it's meant to actually prevent you from getting it, and therefore to prevent you from spreading it, then you could understand why Chomsky would be making a claim like this. I still would think that it's an outrageous thing to say, but it would at least hold some water if that were how this Baj works. But the official word, the official handed down word, not what Alex Jones says, not what I say, not what Donald Trump says, not what fill in the blank of whoever we're supposed to hold up for contempt and ridicule, not what Joe Rogan says, not what Nicki Minaj says, whoever the person to be vilified de jure happens to say. It's not any of that. This is the official word, okay? The official word is that is not how it works. It works, so therefore, if you get it for you. You get it to help protect you. But by getting it, you don't protect anybody else. So therefore, people who don't get it aren't any more to be held responsible for spreading it than people who get it. It's that simple. It's that simple. But there's just, the cognitive dissonance is just like cooked into the books. It's cooked into the information that we receive. It's like a different there's a different strand of cognitive dissonance that they feed to us, and I just don't believe that it is accidental. Do I think that Chomsky is actively engaging in a psyop? I don't know. I don't have enough information to be able to say that. But I do think that it is totally absurd that this, brilliant intellectual who's supposed to have so much credibility and so much integrity would say something that makes absolutely no sense. It makes me want to spank my forehead. That's all I can do. So there you go. What do y'all think? Let me know. My name's Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com and check out my latest book, The Insurrectionist. It can be found at terrorhousepress.com.